Welcome, I'm Bill Wake. We're here working on a game called Betwist. It's a word-finding game, and what we're doing today is changing the UI a fair bit, I think. We'll see how it goes. But we're mostly trying to get from buttons to shapes, and part of the reason for that is we want to get, well, we want to get more control over the shapes so we can try experiments with tessellations, and also I want to change the way that scrolling works. And I think the buttons, well, I don't know if they're in the way of that. But we'll get to shapes anyway. All right. Yeah, it's kind of hard to peel apart everything that's going on in my head on this stuff. Clearly, flexible shapes is going to come from the shapes, not buttons. Scrolling, I'm not sure that affects it. Okay, so what we did yesterday, one thing we did was we pulled out letter view, which is the bottommost view on the grid. Let's see, I've got the grid here. So the border plus the cell, contents, color, and the letter involved are all part of this letter view. And when you click it, it sends that letter somewhere. It doesn't really know. It just knows. Collect word. Well, it really knows select. That might be better off as being a closure too. Although we need game last location. So yeah, I guess there's several things game contributes here. Okay. Well, there's two ways I can think to do this. One would be we just start modifying letter view and putting in shapes and see what happens. That might be acceptable. Another way would be create a second class, make this letter view original and have a new letter view and then make sure we're happy with it. I think we'll try the first way. I was originally going to try the second way, but I think if we have two things in our cell, it doesn't really matter. It's one grid and we'll be able to tell it apart. Okay, so now the button and the grid style, that's all the interesting stuff. Let's Well, what I was thinking to do, let's start with rectangle. And then we'll give it a frame. And we'll need to get these constants out of here at some point. But what will that do for us? Rectangle's built-in, a built-in shape. I think in general we could have any shape here. Okay, well, he doesn't have much in the way of color. And yeah, we're losing. Well, that's okay. Let's get him what we get from grid button style. All right, let's close some windows too. Okay, so he's got a frame. Let's do background color, foreground color. Where's type coming from? Well, this grid button style thing is almost useful just generically. Really, this part's doing all the composition. Let's create a grid button style. Is that going to work? What does he need to know? He needs to know the game and the location. Maybe I should extract these things instead, given a type, which is a selection type. Get me some color. Yeah, I think that's okay. Um, let's make struct color choice color chooser. I don't think it's an anything. I think it's just knows stuff. And these three functions are going to come in. Four functions, three functions. Okay, so he really is kind of a type 2 color map. Let's make this location argument as well. Background color, border color. Okay, and let's say var chooser equals color chooser. Okay. Okay, and so now background color of type is really chooser dot background color, chooser dot foreground color. One of them needs location. Which one was that? Background color. Oh, it needs game too. Maybe he just needs game.hue. It's just a double. Choose that background color, missing argument type. Well, he's a little behind. What's going on here? Yeah, he's just behind. Let's make this thought it would jump to the template when I did that. Game.hue at location. That might be worth being explicit what that is. Okay, and then chooser dot border color. Hey, Tooks, good to see you again. How are you doing? Okay, let's run this. We've still got that weird black square in the middle, but that's okay. So we're replacing this with this, and we're just kind of getting things abstracted to do that. All right, so it looks like it's got colors the same. It's still applying the rules for color and style. All right, and so I think these methods are no longer used. Yep. Okay. Oh dear. Well, if you have the chance to try Kotlin instead of Java, I think that's become relatively popular with the Java crowd. It definitely struck me as Java done much better. But I still enjoy the Swift, so I'm not living what I'm saying, I guess. But if I had to choose between Java and Kotlin, I would definitely pick Kotlin. There are a lot of it's all compatible on the library level, but the syntax just is a lot smoother, I think. All right, so let's see. Yeah, that's still going. Okay, so we'll take that as a little tiny step forward. Extract color chooser struct. Okay, and now we can use that color chooser with our rectangle. Okay, so this one. So we have rectangle, let's say dot. Well, we kind of do what we did here. I'll probably do the border a little different though. Type is hue is game.hue. It's interesting to me that location isn't coming in. We need a chooser. Okay. And then location, well, it's certainly this, but I think we're not using location enough. I think we should move. Oh dear. Let's try that again. That's true. You can run that on there. Failed to produce diagnostic. Does this not have a border? No. Still. Now I was happy with this a minute ago. Oh, we don't know what type is. Game.type at location. I'm going to duplicate while we're getting this put in, and then we'll clean up some later. This location thing, I definitely want to fix that. Type is that. Nope. That. I don't think we do. We use it to access in game, but I think that should just be location as well. I'm not getting what I thought I would get. Well, background should really be fill. Foreground style. Some view has no member fill, but this does. Maybe that can come last. Yeah, I don't think foreground style is really going to apply, but fill should be. Maybe we'll get this slightly stable. Okay, yeah, that's looking better. I do think this border draws outside the shape. I think we want to use stroke border, which draws inside the shape. Oh no. Some view. Okay, let's move this up to probably after the fill. Oh, come on. Now it's going to complain about fill, no doubt. No. Extra argument width. Oh, I better look up that thing. Line width. Yeah. Because a shape, you basically draw, you define it by drawing a path. And then once it has that path, it can fill inside the path. It can draw the outline of it. It can draw inside. Okay, and let's run this. I think foreground style is kind of irrelevant because we don't have the letters in there yet. All right. Now, okay, so it's applying the color as it should. I'm not sure about that border. Stroke border, we choose the border color. Line width, let me make that bigger. Yeah, I think we do need to pass in location. I'm just trying to get to kind of a stable point here. Well, I don't have the border I want, but I think we're making progress. Okay, let's just take this out briefly. Okay, and so I want to get location coming in, and then I'm going to use it on game. So let's go over to game subrow subcolumn. Whoops. Subscript. Okay, so he has this subscript. Let's see who all uses this. It's not a lot of places. Certainly some tests, though. Well, no. Just the one. Okay. I guess it's more of a view thing. Okay, and I'm gonna break it out here, but eventually I'm gonna pass it down further. I think the closer location is to being the primitive, the better will be. All right, now this one can be location. Well, let's do this. Yeah, line with some stroke border. All right. I think this should look okay. Now, I commented that out. Okay. Yeah, that's doing okay. So let's get location coming in, and we'll find usages, but we just extracted it, so there's only one. Okay, and then let's make it location. So we'll build the location right there, and then go to letter view and make it expect a location. Okay, and we don't need that anymore. This is just location. Okay, I think that'll run. Rectangle has no size with the frame. Yeah. Stroke border goes inside the frame. I mean, it basically goes inside the path. So, in effect, they inset the path by the width and draw that. I'm not sure I've done everything to make it draw that. Apparently, I haven't, I guess. Okay, this is looking okay. ONN high AV. Okay, getting all the styles and everything. Okay, so I think we'll take that as make grid view and letter view work with location, rather than row column. The other thing we can do, back to the rectangle now. All right, let's fix that thing up. He wants location. Okay. Now I think we could try dot overlay and then our text. So like this. And in grid view, grid button style, we set the font and I think he's the guy that needs foreground style. Okay, and let's see how that does. Needs to be CG float. Yeah, I thought it was converting it automatically, but let's be explicit. Okay, we're getting our letters. All right, this is good. Now the size, I tried to make it 50 because this was 48 plus a 2 character or 2 pixel border. But I am not seeing a border, and we still don't respond to clicks. On the other hand, I think we're kind of close enough that we could hide the old approach at this point. Let's get the button on there. Now I think what is this? Is it allows hit testing? False. Okay, so I don't want the text to be the thing looking for the hit test. I want it to be the rectangle. And then dot on, is that a tab? Yeah. Okay. So we'll do this. That feels like maybe we can push that to game. Okay. Let's do this. Okay. I think the button border might be part of the 48. Oh, it could be. That may be why it's off a little. All right, so Q, U, and it has nothing else near it to do. O. Quo. No, let's take out O. Q, U, I, N. Oh no, Q, U. It's gotta be O. Quib. I don't think it can make it. Well, that's a pity. All right. So I think. Oh, let's tap here. Okay. Yeah. Now I can tap on this stuff. Either one. All right. The border's not there. Let's take this one out. Run again. Squib. Was that in there? Oh man. Okay. Well, it's kind of fresh looking. Gut. Oh, it is doing that. TREE. Okay. I think it's functional. Oh, we should have. Some words with ings in them. Meaning, maining, peening. Well, peeing. We'll take it. All right. Yeah, I think we've more or less successfully replaced it. Less because we don't have the border right yet. Let me look up shape and just see what it's saying. Okay, this is equivalent to in setting by width divided by 2, instructing the result with line width as the line width. Fill stroke. Well, let's go back to stroke. Okay, well, it's promising. I don't see whys. Okay, I got the white border, I got the red borders. Well, I'll take lobe, blob, blobs. I think that looks reasonable. Now, I would say that border could be bigger. Is that... Let's see what happens. I don't know why stroke border didn't work, though. Oh, yeah, I think I'm going to like that. P-L-I-T. Is that a word? No. Tame. P-L-E. There's no I next to it. I-T-L-E. My... Yeah. Okay. I'm not going to play the game. It's tempting. Yeah. Stop. The line width on these. Okay. I think this looks good. I don't know about the red border around. Oh, wait. We don't have the italics. Okay. Let's get the italics in there. That came from grid button. And that was all about type. Oh, he had selection too. Oh, that's game. Okay. Grid button style. Do we have type? It feels like we want to have that. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Are we missing anything? Font, frame, background, foreground, border, and italics. Okay. I think that's pretty good. Now, all right, let's claim the progress. Replace button for letters with a shape. Yeah, no, we haven't done anything with that bottom area. Just shoved whatever it finds in there. We want to do something. You can open it up and see it in a list, but again, we want to do something. We've got something else that we haven't put in. Well, we activate it once in a while, but it finds all the answers, and then we want this to be, well, a couple of things. One is I'd like it sorted by length, and then I'd like it if you entered the word I want it one color, and if the system generated it for you, because it handles the prefixes. So if you find a word, it adds in the prefix. I like that in a little different color maybe or something. And yeah, maybe 2 columns, 3 columns, something that would seem a little more polished. And I'm also thinking I might only keep the last word here and maybe the longest word so far or something like that. But I think from the main board, that's fine. I mean, what we have, I think, is fine. Let's finish. Let's take this out, and then so I think effectively let's refactor. Okay, and that should be okay. Grid button style. We're not using that per se. I guess we're using these two. All right, so let's extract this. Extract to file should be text. Oh, it's not going to work today. Okay. What did we say? Copy, paste, text plus italic. Well, we'll deal with that in a minute. Text is Swift UI. No. And now, oh yeah, that's fine. And these color chooser things, which I would say those, actually this should be in the view too. Oh, we don't have view separate. Okay. Yeah, we need to do something. I mean, I think once, well, I'm wondering if there's a way to plug in the shape and let all this stuff, it's all just handling shapes. So if you were given a shape, I think you could just show it. Okay, but let me pull this out first. Whoops. I don't know why this refactoring stopped working. It was doing so nicely. I loved it. There it is. Okay. Yeah. And we need Swift UI. Okay, and run. Make sure everything's... Yeah, I wasn't even thinking the user would. I was thinking I would just generate different shapes at different times. And you know, that's just sort of part of the appeal of that puzzle. Okay, that's cool. All right. So we just extract... Well, actually, we're not done, are we? Let's delete grid button style. He is nothing useful now. Grid button style, delete. Make sure it still builds. Yeah, just like some variation. I don't think it's a major requirement. I want to get this scrolling thing working much more than I do the tessellations, but it just I don't know. I've always had a little fascination for tessellations, so it definitely felt like, oh, that'd be worth something. QUESTS. Okay. All looks good. So let's commit that. Now, I don't think the look of this will be right. We also don't have a way to make a new game, which maybe is a problem. Can I pass the view in? Grid view. Okay, so grid view. Let's pass the shape circle and then see if we can swap that in. Okay, let's try that. Oh. Really? Okay. Cannot be used on any shape. Consider using a generic constraint instead. I don't know what that means. Why would it be okay on shape but not any shape? You'll give the compiler information about what data item 1 is. Class of type 1 of protocol. What shape got on it? I don't think I'm understanding the constraint. Shape is sendable, animatable view, remove global. But I guess maybe we'll try from our code. I'm not seeing any type that needs to get filled in. Yeah, shapes are just views. I mean, that's how come we can drop them in just like we did the buttons. How to use a generic constraint to associate two types. But I didn't see any associated types in there. And I don't even know what a generic constraint quite does. ATA matches BTB. When you create a custom shape, infers the type from your implementation of resolve. Oh, associated type content of shape. I'm just puzzled. Okay. It's saying I have to pass. I don't know why I can't pass just a shape in the first place. Like, what's the problem here? That should fix this one, but break this one. Use of protocol must be written any shape as a type. Okay, what if I do this? That doesn't seem like it would make sense. Okay, well, that's the generic form. How's the caller like it? Is he okay? I mean, circle won't work for us, but it'll teach us something. Okay. It's kind of interesting. I mean, it doesn't work because F doesn't look like it touches E here, but we can. View. Okay. But that's good. I still don't quite understand why I can't just declare something of shape, but it seems to be working here. Okay, I'll take it. We'll put rectangle back in there. Whoops, grid view. But that sets us up for our own shape at some point. And I'm sort of imagining the game maybe picks one at random or picks an index of 1 or something. I mean, it's a view side thing, so game really shouldn't know the view, which shape. That's kind of out of his hands a little, but okay, so I guess you'd say we spiked, or no, we pass in shape to letter view, and okay. Yeah, I think we'll need something about their size, and then I think oh, I can draw in here, I guess. I mean, like there's a tessellation like this. If I can get it right. I mean, you draw it in such a way that the point of the arrow fits into the point of the next one or something. But the center of the grid, well, the center of this grid is about here, and you put the A there, it's going to kind of fit awkwardly. Yeah, so I think we'll need an offset, probably both horizontal and vertical, depending how we do it. But I think that's okay, and we can restrict this. Like don't come out more than 20% or something, and maybe with a little twist of rules, you could make something that was mostly okay, and it might not even kill you if the letter A stuck out a little bit over here. May not feel too bad. All right, I think we're ready to tackle this scrolling issue, and I also think we're we mentioned this before of, I think, to fill this out, almost like having 9 copies of our thing, and then you drag the center one. You can only really drag it a screen width, so you don't go past the edge of that thing. It's okay. And then when we let go, we're going to recenter it so the grid is actually back here, although it feels like it's there. Yeah, so we'll have to base things, based on the center, yes. Well, I don't know. You'd have to, yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, it seems like an arbitrary shape, could leave no room for the letters. Think of some sort of like very in and out kind of polygon sort of thing that, jig-jagged around and had almost nothing, no room in the middle, could mess you up. So I don't think you can just generate arbitrary ones, but we can probably generate an interesting subset. All right, so I think the thing to do is draw these 9 boxes, and I'm not sure how that's going to work with. I'm just not sure how it's going to work. I don't want it to shrink it. I want it to leave it full size and just fall off the edges, But, all right. So now back in, well, here's grid view. This draws 1 box. Okay. So who calls grid view? Content view. Okay. So let's. Do I want to make a grid? I think you can. You should be able to chop off anything outside a certain view, I think. I mean, I've seen all these things kind of, but I always have to kind of dig into the how a little bit. But I know there's like size that fits and size that, content does something, and, you should be able to make one that gets chopped off. All right, so let's do a for each. Well, I guess 1 to 3 is kind of reasonable. ID dot self, and this is row in. Move that down. We'll try this preview. Give it a second here. Should complain we're not using row here. Clip shape. Okay, cool. Yeah, well, we may need that. And I'm not sure what you have to like center the view. We'll learn. Okay. I don't know what it is, a preview that takes longer than just building it and running it. It's just ridiculous. Now we should see 3 of these and hopefully just automatically chopped off. Although I'm not sure if they're going to be vertical or... Okay, yeah, vertical. Okay. Oh, and they're doing what I want. Okay, notice they all activate at the same time. Okay, that is good. So this, let's make this an H stack. Spacing 0. And we'll duplicate this. Well, I think that's a row. We need columns. I feel like I'm off by 1 here. Yeah. Okay, so for each row, I'm going to make a vertical stack. It doesn't sound... Oh, yeah. Or is this outside? And same thing here. How many of these checkerboards do I need, you know? Now this feels a little slow to start to me. I'm not sure why. Okay, it says running. Okay. And then selecting. I kind of want them to select. Now what I can't tell is if this is really centered, but it suggests it might be because PHV, no. RAAENRA, well, I think that E looks like the center, EC, EC, EC. So I think that may be the center of the whole grid. Now we can put some sort of view that I don't think it needs to be exactly 5 by 5 times 50 pixels. I don't think it should be exactly that. I think it should be like a little bigger, just enough to suggest like there's stuff outside. Okay. And then I don't know what's going on. Okay. So let's explore. So clip shape, it's a good one to understand. The clipping shape fills the frame, maintaining its aspect view. The fill style to use when rasterizing shape. Well, let's put a frame. Well, that might be. Do I have M1 or 2? I have M1. Oh, interesting. I think, I was going to say that's our clip shape, but it's not. So now okay, let's try clip shape rectangle. I mean, I would probably pop for the more powerful one just because I tend to keep it a few years. Okay, well, that kind of works. Do we see a word here? Laud. Notice that clipped off my border as well. But that's getting there. That's what I want. Not quite, but it's getting there. Okay. So 25 was not enough. Oh, it's got to be 25 on both sides, I think. And the 50 needs to be a constant, but and 6 needs to come from size. So it's just visual hacking, I guess. Yeah, that's what I had in mind. SKYE GOALS. Okay. So what I like about this is now we know the size of it, because I just said it was 6 times 50, so 300 high. And the offset, we made this just like a hard-coded, I don't know, I think we did 350. Oops. Yeah, he should come down more, or this should be less. I'm not sure which. Okay. Yeah. Now I don't want this rotation like this anymore. I just want to be scrolling and have it come to the new place. Okay. But it feels doable. I mean, there's something weird here. Like this feels like I I don't know. We did something very similar in grid view. And so I want to kind of abstract it. But yeah, it's kind of the same. We're saying create a grid with these things stuck together and something inside it. I'm not so. I know there's a way to do it. my constant refrain. Is it view builder or something where you can make one that takes an arbitrary expression inside it, and that would make it its own sort of like n-dimensional grid. Give me the range of indexes for row and column, and I will create that many copies of it. And we have that for our scrolling, and we have that for our grid. All right. Yeah, now this gesture thing. I don't remember how we did it. Let me pull that up. Recent's a relative term. There's collide. I remember reflecting and that kind of thing. Let's see, I gotta get myself to the top. Content view. Okay, we did rotated view. Is that a... That's a view builder. Okay. Is it... Yeah. Yeah. This lets you put the content in and just do it. And so we would give it two... Oh, with the triangles. Okay. We did reflection or something, didn't we? Oh yeah, repeats. I'm not quite sure how that's angle. Mirrored view, that was it. Yeah. Yeah, again, we did the view builder and we just put it once and then once again with a mirrored piece. So each segment was grabbed a slice of the image and then reflected it, and then could keep reflecting it around the number of degrees we gave it. Yeah, I think this kind of builder thing. Well, let's do it. I'll just take this as a little model so we can look at it. Back to Betwist. Okay, so this is repeating grid, maybe repeating. Yeah, I think I can live with that for a word. Repeating grid. We need the content, and then this is that loop. And I guess we want those first. So row indexes is a closed range event. Except row indexes, I think these are, yeah, they're arrays event. Uh, So that should be this. Okay, and then I think we can do the same. We'll just provide two variants. And we'll just map that to $0. Okay, so now grid view. This should be repeating grid. Okay, now row indexes. Oh, rows. Oh, it's not going to work, is it? Oh. Oh. Um, yeah, I'm trying to make the grid through the builder. And I don't know, I could give it a function, but location doesn't want to be a function. Ah, yeah. Okay. I'm going to say that's unsuccessful. If you really want to know these locations, right, they count. And we'd have to pass them back in to... Well, I'd probably have to make this a closure that returns a view that takes two arguments, row and column, and does this. Not impossible, but I think it defeats some of the fact of being a view builder. So I'm gonna let it go. I think it was a worthy thought. But okay. Now where are we with this? Okay, we have this. All right, so I think let's run it, make sure. Make the whole grid the content of the builder to make 9 copies of it. Yeah, I mean, I was only doing it because I thought I had 2 places that needed it. You know, if it's just one, yeah. But I think I may change my mind on it tomorrow. But the way I feel today, anyway, it's like, yeah, for just this one instance of it, I don't think it's that critical. Now, extracting this into a named thing, that would make sense to me. Because he's the one that's got to deal with the scrolling. Now, I think the scrolling is on grid view for our... Yeah. Right. And I think that belongs on the other one. Um, so let's figure. Let's extract this, and I think this is Elm. If the rendering spin up hiding most of it, might not be needed. Right, but I think it's not. I mean, a view is a relatively static thing. I don't think. Well, yeah, it is creating 9 separate copies, isn't it? Annoyingly. Okay. But I think encapsulating it will let us not worry about that at some level. So let's make this. I almost want to call it infinite grid. And it's going to need the game, right? Needs game and it needs collect word. So it's kind of like this. Okay. So let's pull it. Can I extract subview? Yes, that'd be good. Guess view, answer view. Where's my extracted? Extracted view is infinite grid. Oh, he assumes he has access to these? That's funny. Okay. Well, I guess thanks for extracting it, but... Well, he needs to look like game grid view. He's going to need this. Okay. Now, can I just extract? Oh, well, that's handy. Okay, I'll get better at this. Infinite grid. Okay. And now he needs this. Or something like it. That's on here. And I think we'll take this one off. More brace. Okay. Oops. Well, it's been consistently slow. Oh, that was pretty quick. Okay, A slides 1. Okay, this is promising. All right, let's take this out. Check this in. Oops. these in order. Okay, so infinite grid. Right, we got this drag location. I don't know if it'll be easier to follow it from the on-changed side or the on-ended side. Let's reactivate this and see what we got going. Okay, so unchanged, we're going to get the drag info, the start and the horizontally divided by 50. Well, the 50 is our cell size. All right, let me print. Now, we did something with offset at one point, but let's print when we stop. Let's get drag info dot location. I feel like we want offset. I've seen drag examples with offset. I know that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is probably the one we were looking at. So we create a variable offset, and then it's built in gesture.translation. Okay. Yeah, I think that's more like what we want to do. And then we're going to have to tweak that. We're going to need a percent sort of thing for our grid position, I think. All right, so this is the variable. Okay, so that's your offset. Okay, he's being fancy. Offset equals gesture.translation. Okay. And then at the end, again, I think it's kind of this. If the absolute value is greater than, I'm going to say 25, which is half a cell. So in other words, if you drag more than 25, which I kind of think you did, it's your net though. You could drag it away, drag it back. Then we're going to say move move the grid, print final offset equals offset. Otherwise, you let up and it's nowhere to set it back to 0. Need to change the clip shape rectangle for the motion. Yeah, I'm not sure. Okay, but I think we'll get enough information to see something. And let me put this over top of this. Okay, so if I start dragging, okay, we got some drag. Oh, I don't want to do this. We won't do that anymore. Okay, but I started at 201, 146. I moved horizontally 0. This move vertically, horizontally, that's telling me number of cells or something. But our final one, final offset, minus 54, which is 147 plus 54 is 201. And 146, I was dragging very horizontally. Okay. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to get rid of this. Start location, we know it calculates. So I think that is actually right as far as it goes. Okay. And then does this scroll anything? No, because we didn't put the offset on. We had to put offset on the view somewhere. Where is it? Oh, 3 Fs. Rotation. Oh, add this to the previous one. Offset. I don't know why 5. Oh, okay. Just offset dot width. Below the frame. Okay. I almost might want to make it. He's slowing down his drag distance a little in his example. It might pay to do a little of that here. Okay, so S. Oh yeah, this is what I want, because you can't, because, well, you kind of can. Okay, because you don't have to stay in the grid to drag. But I think if you drag out, it does an offset to the side. Did it to this side. Oh, I probably drag out here. It's okay. Drag out past the phone, which you can't really do. Okay, now. Wait a minute. Something's weird. Yeah, something's offsetting something. But we're in the ballpark. Okay. I think when I'm clicking here, I don't know if my offset is 0 because I start dragging and he's not where I started dragging from. When you see more than the grid. Yeah, I was kind of hoping the 3x3 would make it so you didn't see more of the grid. It'd be fine if you were stuck to this, but I can drag far enough. Well, let's do it this way. Like, I don't know how much trouble that is, because I would think at this point I'd want BESL to be about here. Okay, so I don't think I'm going to want that. All right, let me... Well, I'll tell you what. Let's take a break and then we'll come back and play with it. But I think the end result is we're going to figure out where your let go point is and map that back to the original grid. Sorry, you had the partial letters. Those will be empty when dragging all the way. So, yeah, I mean, you get down this far, they're empty. I don't know. I mean, maybe there's limits, right? Because if you go this far, you've hit the end and it's just going to be a thing. You're limited by the phone. We could guarantee that, like, this is 6 times 50 is 300. I would say it looks like I've got maybe another 600, maybe 650 pixels vertically. You know, we could build our grid based on the phone size, not based on, not based on the grid size, the frame size. Okay. But if I can drag 1, 2, 3, maybe I can only drag 5. If I had 5 vertically, would you be able to drag far enough? I don't think so. So maybe this view builder thing needs to be there anyway to make sure that we only have one instance multiple times. But there may be a way. I don't know. Can you fill this in while you're dragging? But I think part of it is I'm doing this in 2 steps. Like if I've dragged this far and I've got, let me drag a little more. I do this and I let go. I would like it to say JEYESRESOAT, whatever, that I'm back on the central grid, that we do sort of our wrapping thing. So I'm back on the central grid. That's the offset I go to. And that offset in the end here is always in the range of, 250 by 250 or whatever the right numbers are for that. So it's got possibilities. All right, well, we're due for a break. Let's take our break and we'll see if we can tweak this to do what we want that way. And I think once that's there, I'm kind of got what I want from that. All right. So see you in 3 or 4 minutes. Welcome back. All right. So at some level, I want to say the final offset, I almost want to do our percent thing and say if it's, well, I don't know how it's computed here. I think maybe it's probably like this is 250, that's 250. Well, I'm only getting 2. 1, 2, 3. I mean, for the grid, like if it starts here, it's 3. Well, one single grid is 5 times 50 is 250. And so the 3 together is 750. And so the center should be 375. And similarly for the up and down relative to the viewport, the cutoff frame, the clip shape. Okay, so the location and the start, well, those seem to be working, so I'm not going to worry about that. That's unended. Now that one I kind of want to know. Oh, where's final offset? Okay. Oh wait, so this is on ended. Okay, so if I drag that, okay, something's funny. I have to drag at least 25 and then it starts dragging. I'm on the O, drag 20. Okay, he's following me. Yeah, that's okay. And now I'm at minus 32. 65. Why is Loc coming out after final offset? I don't get it. Okay, I'm trying to get him back to 0. Offset dot width. Oh, that's okay. They're asymmetrical then. 87, 110, minus 35, 34. I don't know. I can't get it to 0. Well, it's set on 25 somewhere. Here it is. This thing. And that is, I mean, we still have to be able to click on this. So a little bit of bumpiness. Oh, yeah, I went up half a grid and didn't trigger it. Okay, so I think maybe that can be a little smaller. I mean, 10 pixels is sort of a quarter of the button, or a 20th or 5th rather. Okay. I'm not sure how much your finger moves in tapping versus trying to drag a little bit. Let's make this symmetric. Abs of offset dot height. Okay, so I think that's saying you have to move at least half a cell to be counting as a drag. Okay, yeah, we'll see if 4 works. And I don't want the tapping. I guess I'm not using a finger either. I'm using a mouse. You know, that's a little bit of a real device tweak we may have to do. Okay, so here, yeah, this is, I think it's news since we saw you. It's about 2 or 3 weeks old. It's a word game where you're trying to get letters, but I'm letting you wrap around the board. And the way you see it wrapped around is you can drag and you can see like, oh, I'm actually next to X over here or X over here. You know, they're kind of similar. Okay, so now let me do that. Okay, that's that 10 or 4 pixel drag. Okay, now the trickiness. Okay, so I think I want to modify the offset here, and I want to reflect that if you've dragged all the way to the edge, like I want you to be back here. No, well, in this case, back here. Like if you dragged that, I want your R to be there, but I want you to be on the center board. Okay. Now these numbers are not okay. They look like they're in the ballparks. This is minus 268, and I'm saying it's 750 total. So that's sort of a third. Dragging a third across. All right. So I guess I'm saying, what am I saying? My offset, the width or the height, but whichever one, whatever that offset on that dimension is, if it's less than something, I want to do something, and if it's more than something, I want to do something. Okay, so I assume I start off at 0. Let's print and make sure. Okay, so the first drag, 0, 0, minus 7.5, because I probably dragged 8 pixels by that point. Okay, and this is location. I think translation. No, maybe location is right. Okay, so translation is giving you how far did you move? And so the offset, is that right? Yeah, offset is the translation. Okay, but if I move a lot, okay, I'm beyond the boundary. And let's go this way now. Well, maybe it's here that I've got to do the work. It's on the board several times now. Okay, so yeah, that's I don't want to stop it. I want to jump it to a different section of the board. So he thinks he's dragging to the edge, but we've detected that, and we swap in so that we're doing this. I don't know if I think your starting point is 0. Let me just try as kind of an experiment while you're dragging. If offset dot width is less than 0, I should do height first because that's the one that's very visible. Okay, we'll work on this. All right, so let's run that with that. Okay, so he's less than 0. There it goes. It moved into positive territory. Oh, wait. Initial offset is 0. But I think with this, I think it's with height. So I'm staring at the wrong number. I was looking at the first one, but this is negative already, and it doesn't seem to be changing. Look there again. Okay, final offset minus 9, 40.5. That seems like possibly progress. Okay, so I'm doing height. I should theoretically not be able to hit a boundary. And I think I've done it. If it's less than if it's less than 0, then I'm dragging it. I'm dragging it up, right? Let's see. This is 0, 0. No, this is 0, 0. Had to understand these pixel coordinates better. I always get confused. Like, you spent 20 years, 30 years teaching me that 0, 0 is down here, and that's not where they do it. Okay, but I think from the look of it, it looks right to me. I'm dragging, and I'm not. I hit the boundary of the phone, and I still didn't drag it off the edge. Drag. That tells me I cannot drag it off the edge that way. Now, horizontally, we don't enforce anything, and I can see it. So, yeah, so I think as soon as I see it's kind of getting a little out of range, I'm translating it down. I'm jumping the offset one width, or one height in this case. And so you thought you were dragging it too high up. Well, I've already reset you down down to the main square. Okay, and I think if I do the same thing on the width, now all this is hard-coded whatever stuff, but the same thing's going to apply width. Well, I should do that above width and height. If I would just consistently use the words, I'd be better off. Now, this is a numeric thing, right? So we definitely can pull this computation out. And it reminds me of pound, or percent, because it's sort of It's sort of a modulo operator for floating point. It keeps us in the bound 0 to 250. This is probably should be greater than or equal. Although it probably doesn't matter. Okay. Width, height. All right, let's try it. All right, we'll drag this A as far as we can, and we can't do it. I think that was a slow drawing. Okay. It's living up to its infinite grid. Yeah. Oh, I like the partial letters. Do we not have those when we start now? I didn't pay attention enough. Yeah, we have them. And you can frame it like that if you want to, or do whatever. Okay. Now, that's a little confusing. Maybe I'm allowing too much for the partial letters. Or too much. Oh, is there a flicker when it gets to the point? I can't see it. Oh, but this is minus 475. What the heck is going on there? Oh, I'm printing before I... Right. It's probably more relevant to print offset at this point. After we've adjusted it than it is to see this before we've adjusted it. Or maybe it's useful to see them both. I don't know. But I think this should only show 0 to 250 kind of stuff. How is that possible? Need to, oh, right. Yeah, you're right. That's why I've got a gap. Okay, so this should be the 300. You think? Whoops, that's a flicker. Why, though? is... Okay, I'm just puzzled. I guess if it's almost like our modulo, isn't it? It's this while it's less than 0, else while it's greater than. Okay, let me start here, and then I'll make that adjustment. Okay, look, I don't see how that is possible. Oh, we said 300 now. Okay, so that is possible. It's wrong. Okay, so you're saying here 25. That doesn't sound right to me. Well, I'll run it this way and see if I'm catching your meaning. Oh, well, I have to take this one while I can. Okay, so I'm doing this. Now that strikes me as really off. Okay, so you're saying this minus 25 here? And this is minus 25? Offset with greater than visible size? Sorry, I'm losing you here. If it's less than 0, that means I've dragged it up, I think. Maybe I'm... Okay. Okay, I should move it by 250. If it's less than 0, well, I'm assuming it starts, the offset starts 0, right? So if you drag left, you're already risking, you're already heading to the place where you can drag too far, like this clearly is. Right, we still need to move it 250. Okay, I believe that. Yeah, because that's should be related to the grid size, not to the viewport size, if I can call it that. Okay, but the 25, All right, let's run it this way and see what's happening. It's tricky to get these right. I mean, it is a subtle thing. Okay, so if I do this and go this way, all right, we just saw the wrap. And there's a flicker that I think you're talking about. Blip, blip. Okay, if it's less than 0, the opposite side will be missing them partly. And it's not while we drag. Oh, it's right there. If I drag far enough, yeah, so I'm just dragging a pixel and blip. Okay, so something's wrong. Okay, that's because I move it immediately to 0. But something... I don't know, it strikes me as very asymmetric somehow that I need to do that offset. Because it's like, in my initial position, I've sort of got... Well, I've got the center of the grid at the center, right? At the center of the 9 shapes, I'm at the center of the middle one, which is good. And then if my offset is less than 0, now are you thinking this one should be 25 as well? I'm just puzzled by that need. Okay, let me take this one off. We're focused on width. I'm not quite sure which way is negative or positive either. I assume width is the first. Okay, so if I drag left, and let go, it should stay where it is. Darn it. Less than minus 25 or greater than 25. Plus 25? But this is annoying. Okay, I've got a partial. Something's going wrong to the right. Well, I can tell you one thing. I don't think 25 is the right number. I think it should probably be less because I don't want you to get the same letter on the board twice horizontally. Line 31 does not need the visible size. Just add 25. Well, no. If the offset width is greater than 25... Okay, so I think this way will be greater than 25, right? 131 does not need the visible size. Okay, make sure I'm doing what you're saying. Are you saying this? Because that doesn't strike me as right. Okay, let's run that. Because I can drag more than 25 either direction, so that... Okay, so I'm going to start here, Z. I'm dragging... Now my offset is less than minus 25, so why am I not adding visible width there? And my final is 147. I gotta say, I'm puzzled. Okay, that's the less than. Okay, now let's go to the greater. This one seems really off to me. Okay, so I'm clicking on Z, dragging. Why is my offset negative? I think... I mean, it's doing something. It's kind of doing the right thing, but it's not right. Do you think... Is this... Let me look at offset. It is CG offset, isn't it? Oh, CG size, okay. Width and height. Okay, so I'm assuming this is the width. All right. If you get over 25, you subtract 250. I really don't see how that can be correct. Get below, you add 250. Okay, I'll do it that way for the moment. I need to draw pictures, which I'm not very good at on the screen here, is kind of part of the problem. On the other hand, I think we're getting close. All right, so if I do this and I start dragging, okay, I'm going negative, 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 negative. Now, I'm at minus 29. So how did this loop? Oh no, it's this one. Okay, that's why it's funny. Okay, now I may be misinterpreting this CG size thing, but I'm assuming that's the distance I've gone translation-wise. Okay, let's add that extra print. Okay, and let's see what we are manipulating it to. I mean, my guess is I should be between minus 125 and plus 125. 25 because I'm 250 wide. All right, so now this, okay, almost nothing. My translation's minus 10, my offset minus 10. Let's get above minus 25. Translation's 31, offset 31. Yeah, there's a jump right there. Okay, so I don't know, maybe I'm sketching and holding it up to the screen. So the translation, well, if the original way we just had translation, do not divide visible size by 2. Well, that's the 250, right? Oh, sorry. I thought we still had it on 500. Okay, because this 25 and minus 25 to plus 25 is 50, and that's less than the screen width, so it just feels like it ought to be wrong. Okay, but doing it seems right. Location 337. What? Okay, I really don't need that. Okay. Yeah, that felt like too much of a jump. I mean, inside, okay. Maybe I'm just not. No, there was a jump. Something's jumping. Okay, these are low numbers. Yeah, boom. Right. Yeah, so that's what I'm concerned about. If I'm dragging to the right and all of a sudden it's minus 222, that feels. I feel like this is undoing some of the work this thing did. It seems to me that in the end, like in the end, whatever we're saying the offset is, it should be. I think it should be between 0 and 250. Like the final position of the offset in each dimension, because it's symmetrical, should be 250. And if it's not between 0 and 250, I feel like something's wrong. Now, except that this 300, it's really 300 across. Because we start like, well, no, we start like this. Or something. But that's, this 250 is here, right? That 250 cannot be different. Okay, we started offset 0, 0. And then the translation tells us how far have you dragged horizontally and vertically. Width is horizontal, vertical is height. Okay, so yeah, horizontally you have dragged so many pixels. And what I feel like is if I've dragged more than 300 pixels, my viewport should move because that's the width of my thing. And the minus 25, I don't get that at all. I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong because I don't not convinced I'm straight enough here, but somehow it seems like if the final number for should be between 0 and 250, right? Move the top of the grid, change the offset by 250. Okay, so if I'm less than this, so if I've dragged this way, well, there's that weirdness again. I've dragged this way more than half a cell, then this loop puts me back in range of that. 25 is just to delay the offset change till the partial letters are not visible. But I don't see why I care about them if I'm always translating back. Okay. Now maybe this is, let's extract this into just straight non-visible code. I mean, CG size, we can work with that. All right. So this is it's kind of a translate mod. I mean, it's almost like a percent for CG size, really. We're giving it an offset, a translation, which I don't even know the type of that thing. I'd imagine it's CG size. Good. Okay. And then this to me should be 300. But okay, why am I keep talking? Let's pull it out. Okay. And then we can think it through better. If I change the offset directly past 0, the partial letters disappear on one side. Well, I don't see why that should be, because if I do 300, I mean, I don't think 250 is the right thing. I think 300 being the grid, the viewport size, has to be the thing we're doing modulo by. And so if I added 300 in, it got to okay, so if I change the offset to minus 30, so we're past the 25. I think it should become effectively, oh, well, there was nothing wrong with, okay, so if I'm dragging to my right 30 pixels, the offset is minus 30, and I'm saying we should readjust. Okay, I'm going to extract instead of talking. Okay, is this can I make a function? Yes. Okay, and this is adjust offset, I guess. All right. And then I would really rather he returned offset. No. Okay. What is going to be the thing going this? I mean, somehow offset should be adjusted by drag info.translation. And I think I need to get offset as well. Okay. That seems like a function of offset and translation. It should be on the partials up the side that you're dragging. If you move up, the partials on top will disappear. Well, see, I don't think it's the... I don't believe that's right, because if I started off with 0 and I go negative, I'm sort of my visible screen shows part of the bottom, the third copy down of this thing. Okay. And so I'm in danger of pulling that off to the, visibly off. And so I'm pulling that up, and now I'm saying, well, jump back up here 1 and you're okay. So I don't know. Okay. This is offset. And then we're going to say offset equals. Okay. Now we'll refactor this shortly, but I want to make sure it's doing what it appears to be doing now. Okay, there's a jump. I think that's the -25 is making that happen, but I may be wrong. Absolutely may be wrong. But this should behave the same. Let's run it again after the extract. But I'm still very excited. We feel close to me, so that's a good thing, and it's got the look I'm after. I do think half is too much here for these partials, because you can place it so you have 6 by 6, and that's just not right. Okay, but as I drag, I feel like I saw something. Yeah, it's jumping. It's very hard to explain. I mean, visually, I think I've got something right, but I feel like the viewport, I don't know. How do I want to think of it? I want to think of it as 0, 0 in the corner and 250, 250, or 300, 300 on the far bottom corner. It's not, but it's like if it goes negative, then I'm in danger of pulling off the bottom. So I should jump back up. But I don't know. All right. But I think we're seeing the same behavior. Like on the 5th one, yeah, there's that partial, and it'll jump back in. Okay, so, and I also think let's consolidate what we have. Okay, this, we're not moving anything. If I start the position at 225 minus 575. Yeah. Okay. I think this is still just me deciding. I don't even think I care. I don't think I have to do anything here. Like, even if it's not 0, I don't really care if they try and put it back. They get close, it puts it back exactly. That doesn't seem like terribly useful to me. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. So let's run this. I'm going to check this in. We're at our end of the day, but I think tomorrow we'll knock this out with the more of a TDD approach and try and see if we can avoid. It should be on the 5th one. Yeah, there it is. Boop. Okay. So that'll give us a chance to do that. It feels very close. I mean, it's just getting these things pixel perfect is tricky. I mean, it's like you have to have the right model to get it close even, and it's very easy to be off a little bit with these borders and stuff like that and trying to keep it straight. But we'll get there. All right. So I will commit that, and we'll pick up there tomorrow, 2 to 4:30 Eastern and 6 to 8:30 p.m. UTC. I do have somebody in town, and I'm trying to schedule some time with them that may knock off possibly Thursday. I'm not sure yet, but I'll let you know tomorrow what's up. If you had 250 to 525, you get 775. That's too much. Yes. Okay. I suspect it'll take us a lot less time to work it through tomorrow. All right. Have a good night, and thanks again for your help today. Invaluable. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.